The thing that I love and always look forward to is picking this camera up, because it's like I'm recording things to make me happy, the things that I like doing, and you guys are basically coming along and hanging out with me. But what I wanted to talk to you today is about the big turbo. So three to four, I think it was 4 vlogs. The past 4 vlogs has been on the big turbo. I'm gonna give you information, I'm gonna give you some pointers, and I'm gonna let you guys decide, is it worth going big turbo and if you should do it yourself. The second part of the video is going to be me installing the transmission bushings, because I want to clean up the ST shifting. Hopefully it makes it more firm. I kind of want a little bit more notchiness out of it. And then the third part of the video is going to be us going to a card meet. So we never ever go to card meets anymore. But the fact that it's on a Thursday and we have a couple of people rolling out with us, so that should be pretty fun. But as of right now, I made a commitment like a month and a half to 2 months ago, and that commitment was working out. So that's what we're going to do right now. So one of the main topics that I wanted to talk about was going big turbo with the ST. Should you go big turbo, and should you do it yourself? The answer to both of those questions is yes and yes. Now let me explain. I'm talking to the people that are it's already in their head that they want to go big turbo, and I'm also talking to people that want to go big turbo or are scared too. Let me explain. So I was once in the same position that you are, because you hear stories about the STs and how their engines, mainly like the 15s and up, how they have head gasket problems and their cylinders crack and this and that. Now I'd be scared if I had a 15 and up. I'd like double consider it. It's, to be honest with you, if you plan on or want to go big turbo, do it. Like honestly, you won't be disappointed. Now, are you taking a big risk? Yeah, you are, but the thing is, you gotta really sit down and you have to know like what's your plans with the car. Like for example, my car, I went big turbo, but I plan on building the engine. It may not be soon, it may be a year from now, whatever, but I legitimately don't plan on getting rid of this car ever. Like this car is stuck with me. So in my opinion, I'd say go big turbo, go through it, because I mean it in the end is gonna be worth it. Like I'm on a base map tune and it's ridiculous. I have a 0.86 AR, which means the turbo doesn't spool till later in RPMs. It doesn't spool till 3.5-ish, which is late. Don't get me wrong, it is pretty late, but once it kicks in, it's just like, boy, it's there. Should you do it yourself? Yes. If you are mechanically inclined, I'd say do it yourself. Don't be scared by the videos that you see online, what people say and stuff, because remember, I installed mine myself with the help of Chris. But to be honest with you, like my honest opinion of it, it really wasn't that hard. Now don't get me wrong, there was parts of the installation where I just wanted to bag the car out nicely and just set it on fire. But that, I mean, that comes with, you know, doing a major change into the engine. At least I think it's a major change, because I mean it's a turbo. I mean, if you mess that up, then you can potentially blow your engine. Anyways, I'd say do it yourself. So to be honest with you, the hardest part of the installation was the coolant line that was on the driver's side of the engine. I think that was honestly the hardest part, because for one, the what do they call it? The sound supporter was in the way, which you can remove. But also there's 2 lines. I don't know what the first line's for. I don't know if it's coolant too, but the second line is what you have to get to, and the clamp to get it off, like it's in a weird spot. That's honestly what took the longest, but I think that was the hardest part of the installation. Now, my advice to you for people that are gonna do it yourself, make sure that everything's tight. The biggest thing about changing the turbo that I saw, and I still see, and what I didn't want happen to me, is the leaking oil and leaking coolant. That is the worst, to me, that's the worst problem you can have, aside from boost leak. Now, having an oil leak and a coolant leak, that sucks, because now you gotta take the car apart to figure out why it's leaking, and if it's a turbo and if there's a line on the turbo, then in some cases you gotta take the turbo out. That's annoying. So I'd say double check and do not leave a bolt untightened. If you're gonna tighten a bolt, tighten it all the way. Don't say, oh, I'm gonna tighten it and I'll come back to it later. Do not do that. Tighten everything all the way and double check your work. Have somebody else double check your work that is mechanically inclined, of course. Honestly, like I said, you should go big turbo if you're thinking about it. Just do it. Don't overthink it. If you have a 15 and up, then overthink it. And you should do it yourself, because to be honest with you, it's not really that hard. But again, you have to be mechanically inclined, because there are some things of the installation, even if you're searching videos online and stuff, there are some parts of the installation where you're just gonna have to figure out yourself, because that's what happened to me. And as far as tools of doing the installation, My best friend was the wrench. My best friend through the whole installation was wrenches. You have to have a good amount of wrenches of all sizes. Now, of course, sockets and all that stuff are gonna come into play, but wrenches, because remember, the turbo on this car is behind the engine. So there's gonna be a lot of tight spaces that you're gonna be reaching into. So I'd say have a good amount of wrenches on set. You need sockets, a little bit of torque screws, because I know some of the coolant lines on the turbo itself are Torx. Honestly, it wasn't that hard. But then again, maybe your boy's just a boss over here. But one thing that is huge is I did not have a lift. I did this whole turbo installation on jack stands. Some people that were complaining had a lift. That's crazy. But anyways, I'm waiting on my aux fuel kit so that I can get a real tune on full E85. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that, because boy, that's gonna be crazy. They should have some type of setup where you can meet some mail person somewhere so you can pick up your own package, because I swear they be taking forever. I always do that. Hey. Everything else can stay in there. So just to reiterate, this is going to be the boomba transmission bushings. So I'm not for sure if my definition firm is the definition for everybody else's, but from what I read online, they're all like, oh, let's make it more firm, this and that. So I'm not for sure what they mean by that, but hopefully this does what I think it's going to do. So all it is these little mount things right here. So before we start with the installation, let's go in here and see what the shifter is. So this is going to be the Ford Performance shifter. So what I mean by that is actually replace it literally the whole shifter. It's not like the boomba where it's just like the arm that you install. This is literally the whole shifter. So not only did it make the throws shorter, but it actually made the shifter itself shorter. Let's see, so that's how it is now. There's minimum play in each gear. That's how short it is now. So we turn on this beautiful light because that gives me life. I'm gonna have to bring it closer because I still can't see. What we need to get to focus, that's exactly where we need to be right there. So that little bracket that you see right there, for right now it looks like I just need to remove the intake, and it should clear some space up. Sorry for the unwanted noise, somebody decided to come. But basically we have the whole intake off that you need to take off. Technically you have to take off the battery, but I'm gonna try to do it without taking the battery off. But like I said, you gotta take literally the whole intake, at least the box off. You can leave the pipe here, but what we have to do is we have to pop these up using like a flathead, most likely a flathead because that's the easiest. But you pop this off, and you have to pop this off. And what it basically, we're trying to get to that bracket right. Let's see if I can zoom in for you guys. Right there. That little metal bracket right there, that's what needs to come off. So this is the bracket that we're replacing the bushings on. So you're gonna have, put it down. You're gonna have a screw hole right here, and then there's gonna be one on the side. They're both, well, they're all 10 mils. It just sucks because the side you need a wrench for, and you gotta go slow unless you have a ratchet wrench. But this bushing right here I dropped on the floor, so that's why it's not in there. But basically what you wanna do is, all you have to do is just, see if I can focus for you guys. You just pull it off like that, and that's it. Take it off, and then you just pull the rubber off. And like I said, that's it. Well, I can't do it with one hand, but that's basically what we're going to be replacing with the mover. Okay, so just a few pointers here. So what you want to do is, this is going to be how the mount is. So the side is going to be, well, that flat plate's going to be sitting down, and that corner bolt thing is going to be sitting at the left right there. So you want to face it like this. Now you're going to have a two-piece bushing set. What you're going to do is the one with the larger diameter, so it's going to be this one right here. This one's going to go on the bottom, and that one's going to go on the top. Now the tricky thing is you have to super glue it on, or some type of glue, because it doesn't like snap onto each other. So what you're gonna have to do is get some sort of super glue and just super glue like the edge of it, just so it can sit there for you to put it back on. Okay, so we have all the bushings on. So again, this is exactly how it should look. So the boomba logo should be on the top, but we're all ready for it to be back mounted to the vehicle, and let's see how big of a difference it makes. So now that we have everything back on and installed, let's go inside to see if everything is good. So that's what they mean by more firm. Yeah, it does feel like more firm, like you can tell when it's in gear. Okay, so first impression, this made a huge improvement. The only word that I could use for you to like understand is gonna be firm. Like it just like, you know when it's in gear, like it feels more stiff now. So to be honest with you, for $40, this was not a bad modification. How did you like that meat?
I'm not even gonna answer that one.
How did you like the meat?
That shit was whack as fuck, bro.
That was his idea.
Hey, I figured it was better than doing nothing, but I'd rather sit home and play Fortnite.
Ruined my night.
Here, she actually
So-
tried her down.
I was supposed to record the meat.
But that shit was whack, I heard.
Hopefully this video is not as short as I think it is, but I'm gonna have to end it right here. Next to the bros
Yeah, man.
with this delicious pizza.
Pineapples do not go on pizza. Said no
Don't
one
listen to
ever.
him. Do not listen to him.
Said no one ever, bro. Can you let me?
Alright, we'll catch you guys next week. Peace out.
I've been really trying, baby, trying to hold back this feeling for so long. And if you feel like I feel, baby, then come on. Oh!